Doki Doki Shattered Time is a Doki Doki Literature Club fan mod that is not affiliated with Team Salvato. It is designed to be played only after the official game has been completed and contains spoilers for the official game. Game files for Doki Doki Literature Club are required to play this mod and can be downloaded for free at that place. By playing Doki Doki Shattered Time, you agree that you have completed Doki Doki Literature Club and accept any spoilers contained within. Yup. Let's go! Sup, it's Hallie. Welcome to Doki Doki Shattered Time. Team Traitor. Unofficial. Unaffiliated. Here we are. I guess this is a Natsuki focus mod. I don't actually know anything about it. I didn't read very much of the download page. It said that if you didn't like Tainted Love, you're probably not going to like this. So, if you're familiar with that mod, which I'm not, you might be in for a bad time. But I don't know. We're just going to go for it, okay? Just like we always do. We're going to dive in head first and hopefully not snap our necks.
Hey, do you think I'd be better off dead?
That question just came out of nowhere, directed at me. Natsuki, a girl who sat behind me in class, asked me that without any warning. We weren't really acquainted with each other. She was merely a classmate. Despite being in the same class and despite sitting close to me, or close to one another, we never really spoke all that much. It is because we'd never spoken much that I couldn't help but wonder why she came to me with that question. The next day, the teacher approached the class and spoke in a somber tone. Sometime between yesterday and last night, Natsuki died. Oh, well, there we go. The teacher could not say what was the nature of her death, and even now it hasn't been revealed to anyone. The probable cause of her death was lost to the darkness. Natsuki has passed away. That was the only thing the teacher would say when I asked out of curiosity. I did not want to ask any further questions out of respect for Natsuki and to not seem overly suspicious. To be quite honest, I don't really care all that much. I don't care that a classmate I never spoke to much at all who sat behind me is now dead. Despite these mysterious circumstances, it's not as though we had any sense of closeness. Not as though we had any sense of closeness. And yet, she confided in me, and only me, in asking that one random question like a shot in the dark. I have no strong feelings one way or the other. Despite her death, my school days have continued on as per usual. The world has continued on as per usual. I don't feel any sense of sadness or grief thinking about her. She just happened to be the person who sat behind me in class every day. Outside of that, we never had a single interaction or connection, save for possibly talking to the same people. That's all there is to it. Everything would be the same without her. The world goes on. It's the same quiet, everyday life that I've been used to. I found my thoughts drifting away until I was snapped by to reality. Snapped by to reality? Back to reality, by a soft laugh.
Why, good morning, Hallie. You're looking kind of down in the dumps today. Penny for your thoughts?
I'm fine. That girl is Amy, another girl in my class. Just like Natsuki, she has never really spoken to me. In fact, I think this just might be the first time she's ever spoken directly to me. From what I understand, she and Natsuki spoke to each other a lot. Whether they were best friends, rivals, or something else entirely, I can't say for certain. Their relationship never affected me very much, so I never really cared to think more about it.
I don't know. That doesn't sound like someone who's feeling fine. If there's something bothering you, just tell me already.
What does it matter to you anyway, how I'm feeling?
Oh, wait, I think I understand now. You're just super annoyed at me because I never talked to you, and yet here I am talking to you out of the blue like everything is sugar-coated rainbows.
Something like that.
Well, that's because I have a favor to ask of you.
A favor? Me? Get someone else to do it. I don't owe you anything. I hardly know anything about you, aside from the fact you have some obsession with spiders.
There's no need for judgment, Hallie. Everyone is free to like whatever they want, so long as there's no harm onto anyone else.
Is there a point to this lecture? Last time I checked, you weren't a teacher.
My, someone got up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. Anyway, well, like I said, I have a favor to ask. Can you guess what it is?
Don't know, don't care, but I bet you're going to tell me anyway. Is there anything you care about, Alan? Just buzz off already, you spider-obsessed freak.
You're such a jerk. You know that?
Tell me something I don't know.
Ignoring your rudeness. I wanted to see about helping out Not, and you're the only one who can do that.
How the hell do you figure that? Stop acting like we're all just casual friends.
She went over to talk to you yesterday, remember? I know, because I was watching you.
What kind of sick pervert are you?
Would you cut it out already? Seriously, what is with you today? Or are you just naturally an insufferable jerk? Statement, not a question.
No, I'd say maybe I'm born with it.
Well, for whatever reason, Natsuki chose to ask you for help instead of me, her best friend.
What are you talking about? She didn't ask me for any help about anything. She just asked me some random question like it was nothing.
Well, Nat was the kind of girl who wouldn't ask for help directly, even if she wanted it.
Is that so?
Usually because she was afraid to bother people with her problems.
God, I know that feel.
She was such a sweet, considerate girl. Maybe a bit too considerate, though, if you ask me.
How do you plan on doing this? Last time I checked, dead people just can't come back to life. We can't just. It's not like there's some red star out in the sky that can zap the dead back to life. Do you mean red star?
Funny you should say that. If that's what you're worried about, then allow me to explain some things to you. Tell me, have you ever heard the tragedy of Tyrankos the Tyrant?
No. Should I have?
I didn't think so. It's not a story most people would go around telling.
And the mood was ruined by a meme.
A long time ago, there were two brothers. One named Articus, who was loved and revered by all. The other was Tyrankos, who was feared and despised. They were both gifted with unimaginable powers. Articus was about to create things that he set his mind to. Tyrankos had the power to rewrite history, but only once for anyone who dared ask him to. One day, Tyrankos began to descend into madness and jealousy when he realized just how much the world hated him. So he planned to kill his brother, but was stopped and defeated promptly by Articus himself. It was then that Articus created a prison for him, casting him to a realm beyond human comprehension. That was not the last of him, however. Even now, one can make a wish to Tyrankos, so long as they follow the proper ritual. He will rewrite the past for you, but only once. Should someone get greedy with him, they'll find their request is outright denied, in the best-case scenario, anyway. Depending on how he feels, Tyrankos could do much worse.
Assuming this isn't just some fairy tale, this Tyrankos could actually rewrite time?
Yes, but only at one given point per wish.
There's no way this is real.
No, he exists, as does Articus. I know this for a fact. I've even met Tyrankos myself.
Okay, you're one serious freak chick, and I don't want to hear anything else you have to say to me.
You've met him too, Hallie.
As I turn away from Amy, I stop in my tracks to look back at her, smiling devilishly at me. What could she possibly mean with that? Mean by that? Before I can question her, this bell rings, signaling the end of classes for the day. I look back over at her, and she signals me to follow her. Against my better judgment, I comply with her. Amy takes me to the courtyard, right in front of the fountain. From her backpack, she produces two linked bracelets. One is gold and the other is silver.
These bracelets represent the link between the two brothers. More specifically, one represents Tyrankos and the other represents the prison created by Articus, meant to house him.
How the hell do you have them, then?
Oh, it's easy to make these. You just need two bracelets you're willing to sacrifice and dip them into the right ingredients. Make sure they're the right colors and make sure you leave them in for at least 10 minutes for a nice long soak.
Leave him in? I don't even want to know what kinds of things she reads.
You put your left arm in the silver bracelet and you write him in the gold one and say the magic words.
And those would be?
You're going to simply say, Tyrankos, I've come to bargain 8 times while you have your arms in the bracelets.
Sigh. I guess I have no choice if I'm going to make you leave me alone. I'll play along and prove to you that this is all just a myth. Amy holds out the bracelets once more, allowing Mai to slide the proper arms through them. She lets go of them, leaving me standing with both of my arms straight out in front of me. I give a deep sigh as I look ahead of me. I cannot believe I'm going to do this, but I can't help but feel bad for her, seeing as she's lost her best friend. Maybe I'm doing this out of pity or sympathy for her, or perhaps... No, it's best to not think too much about it. Tarankos, I've come to bargain. Nothing happened. She said 8 times, right? Tarankos, I've come to bargain. 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 I'm halfway there. Tarankos, I've come to bargain. Tarankos, I've come to bargain. Tarankos, I've come to bargain. Last one. Then I'm out of here. Tarankos, I've come to bargain. That's all 8 times. I immediately feel the bracelets constrict and bind my arms together. What the hell is going on here? I look over at Amy, who giggles devilishly to herself.
And the tally-ho, and away you go, Hallie.
I feel as though I am being grabbed from my arms and legs, being stretched out over a long distance. The sensation feels so overwhelming I can't help but feel my consciousness slipping. Natsuki can be saved. By me? Why me of all people? As I ponder this, I feel myself fading, but not before I hear a faint voice say something. How many times has it been now? I wonder what number attempt this one will be. What is it that you desire the most? Do you still not understand? Have you learned nothing? No matter how many times you try to turn the hands of fate, you will always arrive at the same result. You couldn't live with your own failure. Now look at where it has brought you. Right back to me. I guess that must be Tarankos. Who is this? What are they talking about? If you still fail to understand this process after having gone through it several times, then feel free to continue your fruitless struggle. You have learned nothing, and as such, are doomed to struggle endlessly by repeating this time period. June 4th, 2019. So why would they give Tarankos a pink text box? I awaken on the ground to find myself laying right outside a house. Could this be Natsuki's house? A calming night breeze wraps itself around me. A gently shining moon greets me as I look up into the sky. This is a rather calming summer night. The house stands before me, exuding an aura most unsettling. Its large shape starts proud and imposing before me. Stands proud and imposing? I can't but feel my knees grow weak as I try to slowly approach it. I look at the name engraved just above the mailbox. Sairenji. That was Natsuki's family name. Without a doubt, this has to be the right place. I put my hand against the gate. It creeps open with just my touch. I push it forward and take a few steps to the door. I put my hand on the doorknob, not expecting anything to happen. I'm shocked when I feel I'm able to turn the knob. I gently open the door. Wait, this is breaking and entering. Well, I mean, it wasn't locked. Should I really be doing this? I don't know what's going on anymore, but... Leave the house? Oh, we got choices in this mod. Well, how about that? Oh, hold on a second. Obviously, we leave. I can't do this. I shouldn't be here. I can't be found breaking and entering like some kind of criminal. I have to get out of here. I walk out of the house, making sure to close the door behind me. As I do so, I hear some loud, booming footsteps. They're coming from the side of the house. I quickly run to the side of the house. I end up beneath a window, or a random window. I look inside. It's a bedroom, with an awful lot of pink. I see a long figure standing in the doorway. There's a girl with pink hair in the room, who is just sleeping peacefully, only to bring her head up out of a sense of alarm. It was Natsuki. Natsuki, are you still awake? Were you waiting for me? I'm sorry. I just finished work, so I'm a bit late. Thanks for waiting up for me, though. Natsuki doesn't seem to say anything, as she only continues to look back at him. Thanks, sweetheart. Things have been very rough these last few days. Things haven't been going very well at work at all for me. They got mad at me for not getting a report done in time, getting furious at me for some editing mistakes I made. I shouldn't be complaining so much, should I? After all, that's why Mom got so fed up and left us, right? Tell me, you're on my side, right, Natsuki? You won't just up and leave me out of the blue like Mom did, right? You'll stay with me by my side, won't you?
I'm on your side.
Thank you, sweetheart. I knew I could count on you. Her father approaches her bed. I duck down, hoping no one saw me. I do my best to try and listen in. Tell me, Natsuki, if I said that I wanted to die, would you die with me?
Dad? What are you saying?
It's gotten very hard to keep on living. I can't handle this anymore. The world is such a cruel, unforgiving place. I feel like the only way to make the suffering stop is to just end it all. I can't do that, though. Not when I'd be leaving you by yourself. I couldn't forgive myself knowing I'd be leaving you alone in such a cruel world like this. So I'm asking you, please, die with me.
Dad, I
can't bring myself to look anymore. I look away from the window. That's when I hear a loud booming noise. A gunshot. Did he seriously just kill his own daughter? What the fuck? Her father starts breathing heavily. How could he do something like this without hesitation? Don't worry, Natsuki. I'm right behind you. There's a cold silence in the air. I don't hear another gunshot. I can't pull the damn trigger. I can't do it, Natsuki. I just can't do it. I'm too scared to finish the job. I can't do it myself. His anguished cries rattle the window I'm sitting beneath. It's all starting to make sense now. Natsuki! No! I just killed my only daughter. I killed the only person I had left in this world. Natsuki was now gone from this earth, her life cut short by her own father. She was forced into a double suicide by her father. She didn't seem to put up any resistance. How bad was her life for everything to end like this for her? Is that why she asked me that question?
Hey, do you think I'd be better off dead?
Why did she ask me that? I wasn't a close friend or even a family member. I was just a random classmate who happened to sit close to her. That's all. A classmate she never really spoke to, for that matter. Yet she came to me and asked me that loaded question. That's when I remember something that Amy said.
Well, Nat was the kind of girl who wouldn't ask for help directly, even if she wanted it.
Natsuki, in her own roundabout way, just might have been asking me for help. I just failed her. Maybe it's because I wasn't anyone close to her or meant anything to her. It might have been because I was just a random classmate. She didn't know who else to turn to. That might just be why she asked me that question at all. Because I was a complete stranger who she felt wouldn't judge or look down on her. As I continue to think this over, I spot a lone figure in the distance. Could it be? There's no one else in this empty void here besides the two of us. I rush over and sure enough, it's her. Natsuki!
Hallie!
Please don't die, Natsuki. Please.
Huh. I wonder why I said whatever I did to you. Maybe it really was because I wanted you to help me. I can't tell anyone else that I didn't want anyone to know anything. Out of all the people I could have gone to, I decided to go with you, the guy who just sits in front of me.
Before I can say anything, tears well up in Natsuki's eyes.
I didn't even think you'd try to do anything, let alone care.
There's a pause as Natsuki sniffles to herself, trying to keep her nerve to speak to me.
It's kind of strange, don't you think? I literally have no future beyond this point. This has all been just some messed up loop that's gone on for who knows how long. Who long? Oh God, I can't break out of it, and I don't know what to do anymore. I'm like some damn wind-up doll, forced to do whatever fate tells me to do. By the time I realize it, I'm already awake and it's morning.
I'll think of something. I won't let this happen again.
You fool. You beautiful little fool. Hallie, I have to go now. We'll see each other again today. I promise. Thank you for caring about me.
Natsuki turns away from me, looking out into the void. I reach out for her, begging her to come back, but in a matter of moments, she vanishes.
Goodbye.
Bad End 1. Am I standing still? Huh. Well. So it's a multiple endings type of dealio. We got the first bad ending by refusing to do anything useful. Bad End 1. Am I still standing? Okay, yeah, well, let's load back up. And we'll stay this time. I have to press on. I step into the house. The time for hesitation has long passed. I did that crazy ritual Amy set up for me for Tarankos, who I can't believe exists, even after going through with it. I need to do something. I make my way through the house as quietly as possible. I don't know who's in the house, but I doubt they wouldn't be too pleased with knowing there's some young punk roaming around. You mean you doubt they would be too pleased? Whatever. I eventually find myself in what I think is the kitchen. Beer bottles are lined up on the table. There are some coffee mugs with cold coffee. There's a bowl with some bit of cold rice left over. On the counter, I spot a picture of Natsuki with who I am assuming are her parents. Everyone is smiling, looking cheerful in this picture. I continue looking around at the kitchen, but it's almost hard to even look with how chaotic everything appears to be. There's some cheap dinnerware that appears to come from a discount store. My eyes travel over to the kitchen sink where I find a knife. Breaking and entering is one thing, but stealing? Then again, I am beyond the point of no return now. Against my better judgment, I take the knife in my hand. Hopefully I won't have to use it. I look over the sink some more and find some baking pans waiting to be washed. The aroma left behind smells really good. I wonder if Natsuki was the one who was baking something with these pans. I press onward to some of the other rooms in the house. I gently open one of the doors and step inside. There in front of me is a bed with a sleeping Natsuki, looking so peaceful and serene. I quietly back out of the room. I feel bad enough as it is for breaking into her house, but being in her room makes me feel awkward on another level. Still, maybe I might find some clues as to what might have happened to her around here. Despite how uncomfortable I feel, I decide to snoop around her room, within reason of course. I look at a mirror right by her doorway. There's a sticky note with the number 8 on it for some reason. Another note has a doodle of a cat drawn on it. I gaze at the contents of the room before, and there is definitely a lot of pink happening. I guess I shouldn't be too surprised or anything. There is an array of cute little trinkets lining up one of her shelves. As I look over the shelf, I spot what appears to be a diary. I am once again feeling pangs of guilt just by touching the book, but I then remind myself that I have broken into someone's home and am currently standing in the middle of a girl's bedroom while she's asleep. I'm not doing this to stalk or prey on Natsuki. I'm doing this because I want answers for saving her life. I take a deep breath and start thumbing through some of the pages within the diary.